Right, welcome everybody. This is the second in our group chat from Creative Polymaths. We are a group of small businesses who get together and kind of support and encourage each other. Shall we do some introductions first, I think, before we get started? I'm Susan. I am a textile artist under the name of Threadbare Woman, and I also run a illustrated giftware line called Faff. That's mostly what I do.
Hi, I'm Philippa Wall. I am the local coordinator for South East Creatives in Kent, and I also have other hats on. One includes running an arts organisation called Threads.
Hiya, I'm Ruby Bolton and I'm a community artist and the founder of Blue Gold Studio.
Hello, I'm Charlotte Khan and I am the owner of Moon Like a Monkey, which is a children's shop, an online and physical shop.
I'm Martha. I am a video producer and one half of Paperboat Documentaries, and we make video content for businesses, brands, charities and things like that.
I'm Sarah Carpenter and I'm an artist and designer working mainly in mental health, and I run Keto Studios.
Brilliant, thank you. So we are all Creative Polymaths, and our group is supported by South East Creatives, who are bringing you these talks. So today we're going to talk about, this is called One Stop Tech Shop. So we're going to talk about tech in our business. So tech is the tools and machinery and systems, digital or otherwise, that we use to help run our businesses, and we will try to kind of chat and answer some questions on that. So let's get stuck right in. My favorite question to ask is, what tech can you not run your business without? Charlotte, I think we're going to come to you for this one.
So there's a few platforms that do this, but I use Shopify. I think there's Squarespace or SquareUp, iZettle, things like that. But Shopify, it is my point of sale, my till system. All my inventory information is there. My financial analysis, it hosts my website. I design my website on it. My entire business is run by Shopify. So Shopify is my absolute, I couldn't do without it.
So does that help you as well with being able to sell online in terms of like direct from Instagram and things like that?
Yeah, it links up to my Instagram shop, my Facebook shop. It sends confirmation emails on my behalf to customers. It manages my gift cards. Just every single aspect of my business from a technical point of view is Shopify. I didn't realize how much it would, how much of my business it would be at the beginning. I thought I could run it off a spreadsheet, but I'm not running it off a spreadsheet. Shopify is everything. If Shopify goes down, I'd cry.
Nice. Nice to have it all in one place.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to jump in and add a smartphone. I think all of us use our smartphones so much for our business, constantly attached to us, these little powerhouses of everything. So anyone else use their phone for their business?
I also have it on my phone, so I'm constantly connected to my inventory system, financial analytics. Whenever I've got my phone, I'm tuned in.
It's just there. But how great that we are those digital nomads. Even if we do have a fixed place, we can keep working. We can work from coffee shops and things. That's what I mostly do, but it's all work. Okay, so is there a piece of tech or a gadget that you delayed getting, maybe it's too expensive or you weren't sure about it, that you since have got and has been a game changer for you? Sarah?
Yeah, so I fortunately got some emergency funding from the Arts Council. One of the things I invested in was an iPad, and I feel like I'm way behind the curve, but it means that basically I can separate out work from business. Instead of using my phone, I can use my iPad, so I have only business emails. I take Instagram off my iPad. So yeah, basically it streamlined things like that for me and made me more portable, having Zoom meetings and things. So I don't have to be on my MacBook here. I can be in my studio or in other places. So yeah, it seems like a silly one, but my iPad's been brilliant for me over COVID lockdown.
So does that mean, do you do a lot of the things that you might have done otherwise on your phone, on your iPad?
Yes, so it breaks up like email communications. I can use my personal emails on my phone, and I can take my business emails off of my phone. So when I'm out and need my phone for other reasons, I can use it. But yeah, so it breaks it down that way.
Nice.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Charlotte, you have something exciting, don't you?
Well, it's exciting to me. I never invested early on in a label printer to print out the labels that you stick on your online packages when they're being sent out, because I have a regular printer. I've always had a regular printer, so it doesn't seem, these label printers are very expensive, and you don't feel like you should spend that much money when I can always print a label on my printer, and I print it out and I cut it out, or I fold it up and I stick it on with nice tape. So I felt like it wasn't a problem that I had to solve. But then when I eventually was spending too much time printing, the printer was breaking down, buying new ink for the printer, I just thought I would spend an awful lot of money on a label printer. Still, when I spent the money, I didn't think it would be a big benefit, but it is a complete game changer. Absolute game changer. It's a thermal printer, so you don't buy ink for it. It's a big, heavy sort of industrial piece of kit, but it prints, you just blink and you've printed 16 labels. And 16 labels would have taken me about half an hour. So it's just time. Time is money.
Time is money, and it's proper kit. And we often, as a small business, we hold off on this stuff. And it's really nice to know for anybody starting what we really need to just bite the bullet and just get what's going to save us so much time and aggro.
And also, to add a little bit about the printer, is that it's a false economy, because you spend a lot of money on printer ink for a regular printer. But with a thermal printer, you never buy ink. So eventually, although it's a big expensive piece of kit, you never spend money on ink again.
I think it's thinking about the payoff, isn't it? I bought an art archival printer a few years ago, and it was a massive investment for me at the time, and I ummed and ahed for ages. But it meant I could offer art prints, and I could offer a wider selection of things that I offered at the time, because I could print them all off. And I had one Christmas where I had like crazy sales on, I think it was my Corbin cards and things. And I made all my money back that one season. And it was just like, why did I wait so long? Because it gave me so much flexibility. But often with a small business, we hold off, don't we? But it's nice when we bite the bullet and it makes a change. Right. Okay. So COVID has forced many of us to move parts of our business and creative practices online, whether it be Zoom meetings or workshops, getting our website, our web shop fully functioning. Things that were perhaps lingering on our to-do list for us to do were suddenly more pressing, and we had to get them done. How have you navigated any specific tech hurdles, and were they as daunting as you perhaps thought they were, which is why you hadn't done them? Ruby, how about you?
Yes, so I was asked to do a number of online workshops and tutorials during lockdown, because obviously the in-person workshops that I had scheduled had all been cancelled. And to me, that was the scariest, biggest thing ever. Being quite a camera shy person and never having done it before, not knowing what kit I need, what setup I need, I was almost said no, but I didn't. I said yes, and it was way easier than I thought it was going to be. All you need is like an iPhone and some good light, some daylight, and a space in your house. And after a few nervous attempts at getting started, I seemed to get in the flow quite naturally, and the feedback I got was really, really good, which kind of gave me a bit of a boost. So it's definitely made me think that I can do more stuff like that in the future, especially as that's probably how things are going to go a little bit, especially for the next few years. So it's definitely opened up a whole new pathway that I didn't think I'd ever bite the bullet and do at all. So yeah, that was really beneficial for me.
Oh, fantastic. And I think, and often we think this is too scary and we don't do it. So it's not until our hand is forced that we put ourselves out there, and wish we'd done it sooner. How about you, Martha?
Yeah, before the pandemic happened, we've always travelled to meet new clients, have production meetings, and because our work kind of takes us all over the UK, sometimes we'd have meetings with people quite far away from us, in Bristol or further up north or London and things like that. And then obviously because of lockdown, those face-to-face meetings couldn't happen. So using tools like Zoom has actually been really, really helpful for us, and to be able to have those online meetings with current clients and new clients, and just to be able to meet via that has been such a game changer for us. And it's also showed us that we don't necessarily have to go and meet with a client face to face before booking a project in, and we can have those chats and conversations online or over the phone. And I think before that happened, I kind of thought that nobody would want to work with us if they hadn't met us in person, that kind of trust thing. But actually you can still build a lot of trust and communication between someone on video chat and over the phone.
I think it's quite interesting how we've all shown up in our a little bit more unedited and a bit more comfortable, you know, seeing our faces. Do you think it maybe means that you might, it'll make it easier to see potential clients who you might have maybe dismissed first because the distance was too far?
Possibly. I think one of the main advantages of it all is that we can now have multiple meetings in one day, whereas before we'd maybe dedicate a whole day to travel to see a client in Bath, and then we'd have to arrange to see someone else next week, whereas now we can have an hour meeting with someone in Bristol, an hour meeting with someone in London, and we can have it in the same day and then carry on with our work here, which, you know, it frees up loads of time. It's much more sustainable, much cheaper to save on travel expenses. So there's lots of advantages to it.
And also, when we wear lots of hats in our businesses, you can be in that same headspace for the whole day. So I'm sure that must be nice as well, to just go, right, we're in meeting headspace, and then
absolutely.
Fantastic. Sarah, how about you?
Yeah, so I can remember when we first had our Creative Polymath meeting, we were discussing kind of social media and things and stories, and I felt quite uncomfortable because I felt like I wasn't able to really represent myself and what I do on those platforms. So I talked about a podcast that I've been making in secret, but I still wasn't really comfortable with it. So since lockdown, when we've done a few recordings like this, I've had quite a few conversations that were very chatty, and just recorded them without any kind of pretense, like very raw conversations. And I couldn't figure out how to do that before. Everything had to be planned. So those conversations have turned out quite nice, and I'm thinking this is how I can do that kind of podcast where it's very conversational, because I don't think in a linear way. So then when you have a conversation, you can go off on a tangent, you can come back, and I think it's a bit more interesting for a listener, I hope.
So again, it's just the times have forced us, pushed our boundaries a little bit, and making us be a bit braver. So what does this mean for your businesses moving forward? Do you feel you're in a more resilient place? Have you perhaps got more income streams now? Are you feeling a little bit braver about what your business can offer? Who's going to answer that? Charlotte.
Yeah, I think our website, I didn't spend as much time working on my website before the pandemic, and we were forced to spend a lot of time and invest a lot of time and money into it to make it work better, because that had to be our only revenue stream during lockdown. And then since lockdown, it's sort of, because we upped the standard of the website, that has remained much better. So we've become more resilient in that way. And I think also doing that with the website, and then realizing that you can just change as a business and suddenly put all your time and effort into the website, or as your customers' needs change, you're agile enough to change your business model slightly to accommodate those needs. That's made, that sort of mindset has made me more resilient as a business, because I know in future when other things change, maybe not this drastically with the pandemic, but change the way you do things, change the way you use the equipment you have. Yeah.
I think this is our strength as small businesses, is that ability to adapt and evolve, and perhaps where we might have been hesitant before, now maybe we've been forced to see that it's our strength and we need to own it a little bit more. Martha, how about you?
Yeah, absolutely. As I touched on, just having a bit more time to work on other things, saving on that traveling to meet up with clients and having that online instead. That's definitely freed us up to have more time spending on other areas of our business and thinking about new pursuits or different ideas. So yeah, there's definitely been advantages to it.
Definitely. Less time sat on trains or traveling, and more time on your business. Got to be a good thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sarah, how about you?
Yeah, so I suppose that, like, I'm a bit different in that I am my own product. So, and for want of a better word, I'm my own brand. So the way in which I can now feel much more relaxed about communicating, it's given me that confidence to talk about my work a bit more and talk about what it is that I do in a way that I feel suits me, which has not only helped with, like, perhaps I can include some of that on my website, so places where I can't connect with people can find that information in a much more humanistic kind of way, but also it's helped me to discuss those things with people outside of technology. So the more I talk to people, the more kind of confident in what I do and my values and my morals, like, that I become. It's much easier to kind of explain who I am and what I do, like storytelling, like Martha gave us a wonderful session on with the Polymaths. Yeah,
definitely good. Hopefully we're all getting a little bit more resilient now. So can I ask, what is your most expensive piece of kit you have invested in, and was it worth it? Charlotte?
This was quite expensive. I don't know if it's my most expensive, but it seemed like such a luxury to get a scanner, because I'm a tiny little shop. I'm not a supermarket. I'm not churning things across as quickly as they would, but to have all the barcodes on all my products uploaded on the back of books and on the packaging. So at the till, when someone comes, I just have to beep it with the scanner, rather than searching it in my till system, spelling it wrong, deleting it, spelling it wrong again, finding it, not finding it, then putting it in as a different sort of sale, which messes up my inventory. It seemed like such a ridiculous luxury for a small shop to have a scanner, but now I have one and I've got less inventory errors. I can serve a customer quickly. I can serve a customer while talking to them, which makes a difference. And I'm not thinking about spelling things and searching. So it was expensive and seemed like a ridiculous luxury at the shop of my size. But I wish I'd had it from day one, actually. It would have saved a lot of trouble from day one.
Nice. And realising as well, things like that are multi-use as well, because I wouldn't have realised that, you know, it's common sense now that helps with your stock taking as well, in your inventory. We just think it's like just doing a price, but actually these things, there's more stuff, isn't there, behind the tech side of the business that we've got. There's more things that it does that saves us time. Okay, so as small business owners, we wear many hats, and we often try to save money, particularly when we're starting, by doing everything ourselves or doing lots of stuff ourselves, and it's often not a good use of our time or money. So what would you recommend people outsource, and why? What tech or system or service would you outsource? Who's going to answer that? Ruby?
Yes, so I'm currently in the process of trying to get a website up and running for my Blue Gold Studio kind of side thing, as well as my community stuff. And I'm not at all good with computers, really. I don't really know what I'm doing, and the amount of times I've sort of gone to start one and been so phased by everything just puts me off. I'm lucky enough to have a partner who builds websites, which is really convenient. But just getting somebody else to take that on has just like been so good. That means I just don't have to think about it anymore. I can have the input I want to have, but I don't need to worry about it, and I know that it's going to be done well and how I want it to be done, rather than me just stressing and putting it to the back of my list of things to do. So I think getting a website outsourced is a really good idea, and it's definitely something that I am in the process of doing and making my life a lot easier, I think.
I think we've all had attempts at building websites and realised the hours that they suck away, because that's not our thing, is it? But we try to do it all. Charlotte, how about you?
I think there's two things I wished I'd have outsourced sooner. So the first thing I started doing my accounts because I thought as a small business owner that it's just one little spreadsheet and I could manage it. But I'm so terrible with that aspect of the business. I messed it up, I screwed it up, and then I got an accountant because I realised I couldn't do it myself, and it cost me a lot of money to pay that accountant to fix everything that I'd done wrong. And I wish I'd had it from day one when my accounts were much more basic. So I now fully outsource the accounting and I use the software for that. And the other thing I wish I'd outsourced first was my website, like as Ruby said. And when I eventually decided to spend money on someone else building the website, it was so much money that I couldn't really afford it, but he agreed for me to spread the cost. That's the only way I could do it. So it took me 6 months to gradually pay for my website. That's the only way I could do it. And I wish I'd done that earlier rather than trying to make myself a rubbish one, which is what I did.
I think that's interesting as well. We shouldn't be afraid to chat to people and ask people about, pricing. There are often other people are running small businesses as well. They want our business from us. So there are ways that you can structure the payment and make it affordable. What about you, Martha?
Yep, similar to Charlotte, accounting has been a big thing for us. From day one, we outsourced to an accountant and we use online bookkeeping software. And that has just been such a huge weight off our shoulders to know that when it comes to the tax returns, that's handled by somebody else who knows exactly what they're doing. And we can, just focus on doing the work that we're passionate about rather than getting stressed about numbers and expenses and things like that. So for us, it was really important that we handed that over to someone else who had the training and experience, because we didn't feel confident that we could do it correctly or in a way that would allow us to do the job that we actually wanted to do. So that was a big it's an investment, of course, it costs money to do that, but it was an investment that we felt was 100% right, and we've never regretted it.
I think that's key, isn't it? When we invest in somebody else doing something, we're investing in ourselves because we get to do more of the thing that we're passionate about, which is our business, and ultimately that's what we're selling or what we're doing. So if you were to start your business again today from scratch, what would your essential kit look like? Philippa?
I'd probably say Google Drive and Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Forms. It's made everything so much easier. I really I like to ask someone to proofread things sometimes, or if I'm working in a team, you can share documents really easily. You can even work on the same document at the same time. Also with Google Forms, you can if you're really, if you're evaluating what you're doing, you can download everything and exports everything as tables and everything. So really, really handy. And I wish I'd kind of done that a bit earlier on, and I couldn't really do it without it.
I feel that's something I need to kind of understand more and use a bit more. There's so much, isn't there, that's not gadgety, but it's still the tech side of our business that can make it so much easier. So much of our the mechanics of our biz happen in a digital space, making it our office kind of never far away. We're always working. We've touched on this before. So it's tempting to just always be working, never switch off. Have you used any tech, or have you found any ways to help you create time away from work? Sarah, can I come to you first?
Yeah, so it goes back to the iPad because I sort of separate out my work now from my phone and my iPad. So I don't have Instagram on my iPad. I do have my work emails on my iPad, and I don't have them on my phone. So I can separate out when I'm out and about. My phone becomes my own personal space, but when I am in the studio or the office or whatever at home working on things, I'll specifically have to get my iPad out to work on things like that. There's another thing that I did on Instagram, which was create quick replies, and I can't remember exactly how I did it now, but I can put it a link underneath. But basically, it makes a shortcut. So if I want to direct people from one Instagram account, say my personal one, to the Ketos one, or Ketos one to my artist one, I just type in 123 and it saves a message that kind of says, thank you for getting in touch. I hope that we can have a great chat, but at the moment, this is my personal account. Please, I won't be necessarily able to respond to you. Please go to blah, blah, blah. And that's really useful because you don't have to keep typing it every time that happens.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, definitely add the link once you remember how to do that. Brilliant. What about you, Charlotte?
My way isn't very high tech. I have, because everything's on my phone, I'm constantly looking at my Shopify, my stock, my sales, my all the social media channels. I'm constantly fielding messages from customers, my emails. So as long as my phone is in my hand, which it is from morning till night, I'm working constantly. So I just have to consciously put it on airplane mode for an hour. I set an alarm for an hour and I put it away, and that's the only way I can that's the only way I can deal with it. I just have to consciously know that I've got to allow myself an hour every now and again to just not look at my phone. If it's in my hand, I'm working.
Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? I have my notifications go off on my phone at about 8 o'clock at night, and they don't go on until a certain time in the morning. So if I put it somewhere else, I'm not drawn by that bing, bing, bing. We need to switch up, don't we? Right, let's have one last question, I think. So if money were no object, if it dropped out of the sky in abundance, what tech, gadget or system would you invest in for your business or creative practice? Who wants to answer that? Sarah, do you want to go with that?
Yes, well, I think Ruby already touched on it earlier about websites. So I've got a website that I'm okay, happy-ish with, but I'd like for someone to build me a website because I'd like full-size images, because obviously as an artist, it's no good having these small galleries, and a really good shop. So I don't have any way at the moment of selling my work very easily online that works for me. But I feel like mostly if I had the money, I would rather have other people, I'd rather outsource things to other people. So for example, I am really bad at writing copy, so I'd like to get someone to do that for all my tech platforms, and then I might be better off sending out something that someone else has written as my newsletter, for example. So get someone to use MailChimp, and yeah, basically get someone to do me a fabulous video, some great photos of the work, because at the moment I just don't think that it does any justice. And I think that the more time I spend thinking that I can do everything myself, like people could just do it a lot quicker, and financially it'd work out a lot better for me, and I'd be more happy with the end result.
Brilliant. I think, yeah, that's it. I think what we need to do is we need to learn from each other, and where it's best to spend our money and outsource, where it's best to get systems to just be more streamlined, and we can just all focus on the fun bits of our business and not too many of the boring bits. We have to do some of that. Well, thank you, Creative Polymaths, for that chat. It's been lovely. And thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you to Southeast Creatives for supporting our fabulous little business support group here. And that's it. I think we're done. Thank you.